In the late 1970s, a strange phenomenon began to plague the city of Bristol, England. It wasn't a loud noise, but a persistent, low-frequency throb that felt more like a physical pressure than a sound. For those who could hear it, it was an omnipresent, intrusive drone that seemed to vibrate within their very bones, beginning a mystery that would haunt the city for decades to come. Not everyone could perceive the sound. Only about 2% to 11% of the population, dubbed hearers, were affected. To them, the Bristol hum was a source of immense distress, causing insomnia, headaches, and nausea. While others slept in peace, the hearers lay awake, tormented by a sound that no earplugs could block and no white noise machine could successfully drown out. A bizarre characteristic of the hum was that it was often louder indoors than outdoors. Hearers reported that the sound seemed to resonate within the walls of their homes, growing more intense in the quiet of the night. Some described it as a distant diesel engine idling outside their window, yet when they looked out into the empty, silent streets, there was nothing to be seen. By 1979, the complaints reached a breaking point. The local newspaper, the Western Daily Press, was flooded with letters from frantic residents. The city council was forced to acknowledge the problem, and for the first time, the Bristol hum became an official subject of scientific inquiry, sparking a hunt for a ghost in the acoustic machine of the industrial city. Initial theories focused on the massive industrial complexes surrounding Bristol, such as the Avonmouth docks. Investigators looked at cooling towers, fans, and heavy machinery. However, even when factories were shut down for maintenance, the hum persisted. The sound didn't follow the rhythm of industry. It seemed to possess a life and a schedule entirely of its own. Medical skeptics argued that the hum was simply a collective case of objective tinnitus, a ringing in the ears, caused by internal biological factors. However, hearers pointed out that they only heard the sound in specific geographical locations. If they left Bristol for a holiday, the tinnitus miraculously vanished, only to return the moment they crossed back into the city limits. Another theory suggested that the high-pressure gas network beneath the city was vibrating. Researchers looked at the resonance of the pipes, wondering if the flow of gas created a standing wave that echoed through the soil and into the foundations of houses. While some vibrations were found, they didn't match the specific frequency or the widespread reach of the Bristol hum. During the Cold War, some fringe theorists wondered if the hum was a side effect of secret military transmissions or over-the-horizon radar. They suggested that low-frequency electromagnetic waves were interacting with the human nervous system, tricking the brain into hearing a sound. It was a terrifying thought. The city was being bathed in a silent, invisible electronic fog. Geologists proposed that the sound was natural. The Earth itself produces a hum caused by the movement of tectonic plates and the pounding of ocean waves against the continental shelves. Some believe the unique geology of the Bristol Basin was amplifying these microseismic vibrations, turning the ground beneath the residents' feet into a giant, low-frequency speaker. Despite numerous studies, a single, definitive source was never found. The Bristol hum became an acoustic ghost. It would disappear for months, and then return with a vengeance. For the hearers, the lack of an answer was almost as painful as the noise itself, as they were often dismissed as sensitive or neurotic by a public that couldn't hear the drone. Bristol wasn't alone. Similar hums began to be reported in Taos, New Mexico, Windsor, Ontario, and Auckland, New Zealand. The Bristol hum was revealed to be part of a global tapestry of unidentified low-frequency sounds. This suggested that the cause might not be local industry, but something inherent in modern infrastructure or global geophysical processes. The long-term effects on hearers were devastating. Chronic sleep deprivation led to depression and anxiety. In some extreme cases, the hum was cited as a factor in suicides. The sound that isn't there became a psychological weapon, a reminder of how a minor sensory irritation can escalate into a life-altering trauma when it cannot be escaped or explained. In the 1990s, a new wave of research focused on electrical transformers and large-scale ventilation systems. While these did produce hums, they were localized. A hearer in North Bristol was hearing the same frequency as one in South Bristol, miles apart. This synchronization suggested a massive, citywide source or a very common piece of household equipment. In 2015, a French study suggested that the Earth's hum was caused by the pressure of ocean waves on the seafloor, which sends seismic ripples through the crust. These ripples can stay at a consistent frequency for thousands of miles. Bristol's proximity to the Severn estuary and its massive tidal range made it a prime candidate for this natural resonance. Another modern theory points to the cumulative effect of a humming civilization. The combined vibrations of millions of car engines, air conditioners, and power lines create a bass hum in urban environments. In a city like Bristol, with its specific topography, this industrial white noise might be focusing into a hotspot of low-frequency sound. Research into the human ear revealed that some people have supersensitive hearing in the low-frequency range. They are like human seismographs, picking up vibrations that the average person naturally filters out. For these individuals, the quiet of a city is actually a roar of tectonic and mechanical energy that their brains simply cannot ignore. In recent years, reports of the Bristol hum have dwindled. Some say the source was eventually replaced or fixed. Others believe that the increase in general ambient noise has finally masked the low-frequency throb. However, every few years, a new resident will post on a forum, "Does anyone else hear that low buzzing at night? The ghost is still there." The hum taught scientists about the complexity of urban acoustics. It showed that silence is a relative term and that our environments are filled with invisible, audible energies. It also highlighted the need for empathy in medicine, as thousands of people suffered for years before being taken seriously by the scientific and political establishment. Was it the gas pipes, the sea, a secret government experiment, or just the collective vibration of a million modern lives? The Bristol hum remains one of the UK's most famous unsolved mysteries. It is a reminder that even in our highly monitored world, there are still anomalies that slip through the cracks of our understanding, humming in the dark. Today, Bristol is a vibrant, bustling city. Its hum mostly a memory found in old newspaper archives. But for those who lived through the 1970s drone, the memory of that bone-deep vibration remains. They know that beneath the surface of our reality, there is a world of sound we are only beginning to hear, a reminder to always listen to the silence.